Nick Sirianni has produced more results for the Philadelphia Eagles than Andy Reid.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The Rich Eisen Show.
Did anyone go up to Jameis when Jackson Dart got the gig? Or, did anyone go up to the third stringer and ask them, why is Carson Wentz getting it? You know what I mean? But it's different. We all know how Shador was born into this world and born into this league. But it's also going to engender whether he's serious or not because he pantomimed his answers.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Now I've come to the conclusion that Bobo has to go.
Turtle is up next in Alabama. Hello, Turtle.
Bobo has got to go.
Paul Feinbaum, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Back here at Wrigley Field, we go bottom 7. Andrew Monasterio is into the game, and he's playing shortstop to take over for Joey Ortiz, who is hit 4. Blake Perkins stays in the game. He'll play center field. And there's a new pitcher alert. Jared Koenig, the big lefty, 6'5", 248, the 31-year-old on here. And he'll face the top of the order, and Michael Busch. It'll go Busch, Horner, and Tucker. 4-3 game Cubs with a 1-run lead, trying to stay alive. First offering is cut on and missed. Oh, 0-1. Here's the pitch. And that's outside.
Well, Koenig features the sinker-cutter combination. It was slap a curveball in there, change up in there, but works on that power plane of trying to get the ball down.
Next offering cut on and missed, and it's 1-2.
He's listed as 6'5", starts on that third base side of the rubber. A lot of tilt. Throws that ball, it's got some bite to it.
The 1-2. Busch fouls it back, and he stays alive. So it's Churio in left, Perkins in center, Frelick in right. Perkins shading Busch to left center. On the infield, they play Busch to pull. Durbin, Monasterio, Turang, and Bowers. Contreras still back behind the plate. Koenig says yes to the side. He's ahead 1-2. Big lefty kicks fires. Swing and a ball drilled towards left center field. Towards the gap. Churio there, and he makes the catch. Busch hit that pretty well. And Churio able to track it down. One away.
Well, not a lot of signs of, Churio had the hamstring issue. Missed a significant amount of time, about a month. And Isaac Collins ended up playing a lot, but now he's had a little scare earlier in the series. But he's out there, he's stretching it a lot, but still seemingly making the plays and running when he needs to.
Yeah, he's looked good. One down, and it's Nico Horner, the pitch. Swing and a line drive, slicing into right field. That's a base hit. Horner around first. Nico will take a turn, but he'll hang on as Frelick's throw a one-hop right on the nose at second.
What a throw. It was actually short of the cutoff man, but it had so much hair on it, it just kept skipping. Just a great throw. Horner once again, I'm surprised they're playing him so far off the line, but they were giving Horner the right field corner, but I guess with Frelick covering so much ground like that, he's able to make up for it.
So man at first, that's Horner, and now it's Kyle Tucker, the pitch. Swing and a line drive, base hit out into right center field. Frelick will pick it up, Horner to second, and the Cubs with something brewing. 2 on and 1 out. Runners at first and second here in the 7th.
Well, that's the swing that Tucker's looking for, where he's in the zone, threw the ball the entire way, not kind of in and out of the zone quickly from rolling over, and didn't hit it, didn't scorch it, but just got enough of it in a compact stroke.
Pat Murphy out of the dugout, and he's going to make a pitching change. Chad Patrick will come in from out of the pen. And the righty is our call to the bullpen with 1 out. Runners at first and second. Bottom 7. Cubs 4. Brewers 3 here in Game 3. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Adam Schefter, and on this week's episode, Year of the Resurging Quarterbacks, a record pace for Puka Nacua, an inexplicable trend that won't end in the NFL. The Adam Schefter Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Freddie, I'm going to start with Stephon Diggs. You're talking about a guy who joined the Buffalo Bills in Josh Allen's second year and made a massive difference, allowed Josh Allen to be able to take that next step. Now he's with the New England Patriots with Drake May in his second year as a quarterback, and it's making a massive difference. And just being that security blanket and that one player that can just be available, make tough catches, make plays.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. ESPN Radio Sports Beat.
The Cleveland Browns made a decision to trade their former starting quarterback, Joe Flacco, in the division, in their state, to the Cincinnati Bengals. That leaves them with rookie Dylan Gabriel as the first string, and we think maybe Shedeur Sanders, a fellow rookie, as the second string quarterback. A lot of people are out there critiquing the Browns, criticizing what they've done. But in reality, aren't they exactly where you and many others wanted them to be? We all called for the idea of let Gabriel and Sanders compete for the starting job. Maybe it wasn't the exact route you thought they were going to take. They traded Kenny Pickett away, who they wanted seemingly to start. They bring in Joe Flacco, he starts, and then they trade him away. But now, as they head into the rest of the season, there are 2 rookies that are likely going to compete week by week for the starting job. That is, unless they decide to go to a man that they're paying $50 to $60 million a year to in Deshaun Watson. This week, Shams Charania, ESPN senior NBA insider, reported that Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks over the summer had discussions about where he could possibly go if he was going to be traded. And the name that keeps coming up, the New York Knicks. I am not ruling out the idea of Giannis getting traded. While I don't think he actually will get traded anytime soon, I now have to acknowledge the fact that it is a possibility. But a probability when it comes to the Knicks? I don't think so. Who exactly do the Knicks have that the Milwaukee Bucks would want? The New York Knicks, to their credit, have built an excellent basketball team that should absolutely compete for Eastern Conference supremacy. But what they have are a bunch of win-now players. And if you have win-now players and you're trading away Giannis, those aren't the players you necessarily want. Unless the Knicks do what they should do, which is actually offer the Bucks Jalen Brunson. Giannis would make them better now. Giannis would make them better later. But the Knicks won't do that. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Evan Cohen.
A Marquez to share update from Yankee Stadium. Blue Jays lead Game 4 over the Yankees 1-0. Bottom of the second inning. Blue Jays lead the series 2-1. Earlier, the Tigers squared up with Seattle 2 games apiece, a 9-3 win. And manager A.J. Hinch of the Tigers gets to hand the ball to Tarek Skubal in Game 5 Friday.
Sitting in my chair, one of the easiest things to do and one of the most exciting things to do is hand the ball to the best pitcher in baseball. He obviously is somebody deeply trusted in our clubhouse to bring intensity, to bring high-end pitching and bring results. And we win together, we lose together, but he leads us. He's a big presence going into Game 5 as we get on this plane to go across the country. We got a lot of optimism heading that way because of Tarek Skubal.
Tigers scored 9 unanswered runs in that victory. Phillies and Dodgers play Game 3 of their series coming up later from Los Angeles. Pitching change, bottom of the 7th at Wrigley. Back to John Shambi and Doug Glanville.
Yeah, Kesty, it will be Chad Patrick to take over with 1 out and runners at first and second. Patrick, who pitched in Game 2 and got a 1-2-3 inning in his lone appearance. So 2 on and 1 out for Suzuki. Patrick ready and deals. And a fastball misses high. Patrick this year used mainly as a starter, did good work. 3.53 ERA in 119 and 2/3 innings.
That's hence the repertoire of pitches: cutter, sinker, four-seamer, changeup, slider.
The 1-0. Swing and a pop-up, foul back our way, and that is out of play.
And, the Cubs have had that lead right out of the gate, and it's just been a lot of zeros. And this Brewer team just chipping away. The Cubs are going to have to figure out a way to get a little breathing room for the bullpen so they can maybe make a mistake and still preserve the lead.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Upstairs, and Suzuki couldn't catch up. Seiya Suzuki has flied out, doubled, and he's also struck out. The double was the hardest ball he's hit in his major league career. He hits with Horner at second and Tucker at first, one away. And a 1-2. Swing and a foul out of play off to the right.
I thought what was fast about Suzuki's numbers this year is when he was DHing this season, he had 232 with a 423 slugging percentage. When he played right field, he was at 304 with a 664. And it's a huge sample, but there's something to be said, like, I don't know, maybe just being out in the field.
The 1-2 pop foul, and that is out of play.
I don't think DH is that easy necessarily, like an easy transition. We're like, okay, now you're just the DH, and you got to get a whole new rhythm. And, some guys eventually figure it out. Obviously, Ohtani and David Ortiz, Edgar Martinez.
1-2. Patrick fires. Swing and a bouncer to short. Monasterio up with it to second for one. On to first, safe, and Seiya beats it out. So down to third goes Nico Horner. And Seiya Suzuki bounces into a 6-4 fielder's choice. 2 away now.
Suzuki rolled over and created a lot of topspin in that ball. And Monasterio had to wait back a little bit for the hop. And then he tried to quickly release it. Terang turns it. It does a pretty good job of making it real close. But because Monasterio had to back up, he fielded it real high, almost above his head. And that time it took for him to wait was the difference between out and safe.
There's Ian Happ now. First and third, 2 away. Patrick kicks, delivers. Swing and a bouncer, foul, first base side. Cubs lead it 4-3. We're in the bottom of the 7th. All 4 of the Cubs runs coming in the first. The Brewers, meanwhile, single runs in the first, the 4th, and the 7th. Corners at third. Suzuki at first. The 0-1. In there for a strike.
Contreras out here walking into the infield to set up a play just in case Suzuki tries to take off. They have a 0-2 count. And make sure you preserve that the run doesn't come in from third.
There's the 0-2. Swing and a ball lifted foul out of play off to the left. Happ digs back in. Switch hitter batting left. First and third, 2 outs. 0-2. And the pitch. Too high, way high. Contreras coming up out of the crouch to grab that one. Happ, the longest tenured player on this Cubs team. He was part of the group in 18 that lost to the Rockies. Part of the group in 17 that lost to the Dodgers. The 1-2. Oh my goodness, missed outside. The entire infield and Contreras started to shift towards the dugout, and that gets a smile from Pat Murphy.
Patrick hit the glove. Contreras set up on the edge and didn't really have to frame it. He threw it right where the glove was and did not get the call.
2-2, here we go. First and third, 2 outs. And the pitch to Happ. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Happ is gone And the Cubs strand a couple. We've played 7 here at Wrigley. It's the Cubs 4, the Brewers 3 here in Game 3. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Well, don't forget our other National League Division Series, the Phillies and Dodgers. Comes your way tonight, 9 Eastern in L.A., presented by Booking.com on TBS and ESPN Radio. Dave O'Brien, Jessica Mendoza with the call. Dodgers went to Philadelphia, and at a tough ballpark, they went in and took 2. So they'll try and come up with a W and eliminate the Phillies here tonight. Andrew Kittredge will continue on the hill for the Cubs. It'll be Churio, Turang, and Contreras for Milwaukee. And we get a ball game, a 1-run game here in the 8th. John Shambi, Doug Glanville, our producer Rob Kelly, our engineer is Al Rosenberg. So Churio at the plate, 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and struck out once. The 21-year-old stands in, and Kittredge is ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a ball lined out towards left center field. Pete Crow Armstrong dives and he can't get it. It's off his glove. Happ will pick it up, fire to second, and Churio is in with a double. Well, Pete Crow Armstrong did everything he could to try and come up with that. Just wasn't quite able to get there.
A valiant effort here. He goes out, and when he dives, he doesn't get the webbing. It gets sort of the outside of the glove, sort of where your pinky would be. So just a little bit too high and above the ball. So he lays out and slides, and the ricochet threw Happ off a little bit because he overran it and had to go back. And by then, trying to throw, Churio was hustling towards second. Good throw by Happ, but Churio was able to get in there even with his compromised hamstring.
Bryce Turang scheduled to hit. Craig Counsell out of the dugout. We got a pitching change. Call to the bullpen. And with nobody out, the man at second, it's the tying run at second. 4-3, Cubs lead the Brewers here in the 8th. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and ESPN app.
The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny.
I just don't know how you give Ward a shot back there. If I'm Tennessee, I heavily consider a trade. Not talking about like a big swing, but like you need someone. Right now, Ward's got no chance. And you run the risk of really setting back his development if you don't give him a solid veteran answer. And I've just been so disappointed with Calvin Ridley this season.
Check out The Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
41, 31, 13.
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted.
I
realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
I'm Mark Kestisher. The Toronto Blue Jays got on the board early against the Yankees in Game 4.
0-2. The big righty delivers. And Guerrero fires one down the line and right. It may have landed on the chalk line. That'll bring Springer in. And Vlad Guerrero continues to torment the Yankees. An RBI single to right makes it 1-0 Blue Jays.
Carl Ravitch, the call on ESPN Radio, and as we speak, Ryan McMahon has just homered. Yankees have tied the Blue Jays at 1 in the bottom of the 3rd. Pitching change back to Wrigley. John Shambi and Doug Glanville.
Kesty, may I say I'm glad we're speaking. Mark Kestisher back there in the studio, and it is Caleb Thielbar to take over, and Thielbar with the tying run at second, and Jackson Churio. Yeah, Bryce Turang up here, a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. Lefty will spin and bluff at Churio.
Thielbar real tough on lefties this year, 161 batting average.
Lefty delivers. Swing and a miss. A wave and a miss from Terang at that breaking ball. Thielbar pitched twice, an inning and a third of scoreless baseball against the Padres. This is his first appearance in the division series. 0-1, the pitch. Swing and a miss. And this guy has been around. He's 38 years old, originally drafted by the Brewers, an 18th round pick back in 2009 out of South Dakota State. Terang back in, awaiting at 0-2. Man at second, nobody out. The pitch is a little bit low.
That looked like it caught a lot of the plate.
Oh, that Carson Kelly just caught that poorly. I mean, that was middle of the strike zone, and he took it down and out of the zone. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Terang is gone. So Thielbar gets the first man that he faces. And now it's William Contreras. Cubs 4, Brewers 3, and nail biter at Wrigley here in the 8th. Contreras 1 for 3 with a sun-aided pop-up for a hit. Here's the pitch. Foul tipped into the mitt of Kelly for strike one. This guy, 27 years old, Wilson Contreras' younger brother, has turned into an elite-level player. The 0-1 in the dirt. Check swing, did not go. Lance Barksdale, our first base umpire. Dougie, we mentioned it the other night. Since the start of the 22 season, only Cal Raleigh, a catcher, has put together more wins above replacement than William Contreras. Churio edging away. He's the runner at second. Ball on a strike. Thielbar fires. Swing and a miss.
Really good curveball, and he's got the curve, he's got the sweeper slider, so he can spin it in all the different shapes with all different speeds.
Thielbar sets and a 1-2 in the dirt. Churio edging away at second. Contreras back in right side. Thielbar, the 2-2. Way high outside. And here we go. 3-2 on William Contreras. Sal Frelick with one out of the on-deck circle down to our right. Cubs 4, Brewers 3. We're in the top of the 8th. Thielbar sets, checks the runner, fires. And that one is low for ball 4. And Contreras will take the walk. And as he discards the shin guard and the elbow guard, he stares menacingly into his own dugout as if to say, let's go.
It took a lot of discipline to lay off these pitches. Thielbar went for the chase, didn't sort of get the strike in the zone, and understandably with Contreras a dangerous hitter, a base open, so he was careful. And Contreras celebrating that he laid off a pitch that he could have chased and struck out on.
Here's Frelick, the pitch. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. Horner to second for one. Return to first. Safe. Frelick beat it out. Wasn't quite hit hard enough for Horner and Swanson to turn the magic at second. On the play, Churio to third. And there's 2 down.
There's kind of a slider down in the zone, and Frelick hit it practically off the ground, but it rolled right away. It wasn't a lot of hops. It just like smoothly rolled to second. Horner had to wait for it, and Frelick just too fast.
So now they're at first and third. Carson Kelly out to the mound. Brad Keller has been up and loosening. And I believe Brad Keller is ready. He's going to be asked to get 4 outs here tonight. Craig Counsell out of the dugout, points to the pen. And the big righty is coming in to face Caleb Durbin. Big spot upcoming. Call to the bullpen with 2 outs here in inning number 8. Cubs 4, Brewers 3 here in the 8th. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm Mark Kestisher updating Game 4 of the American League Division Series in Yankee Stadium. Ryan McMahon, home run, 1-1. They've tied the Blue Jays in the bottom of the third. Earlier, the Tigers forcing a fifth and deciding game. They beat Seattle 9-3. Riley Green had the tie-breaking homer to lead off the sixth.
It felt good. Was really just trying to get on base, as a leadoff hitter, and just trying to get on base and, get the torque behind me, and, I got a pitch I could handle.
Later on, Dodgers and Phillies. LA up 2-0 in that series. Right now, Cubs trying to hang on against the Brewers. Pitching change in the 8th inning. Back to Wrigley, John Shambi and Doug Glanville.
Yeah, Kesty, things have gotten tight. Tying run 90 feet away. It's Jackson Churio. The Brewers have runners at first and third. And a good contact man in Caleb Durbin at the plate. Brad Keller on here. He's been a good strikeout guy and a good ground ball guy. So multiple options, but a tough hitter at the dish in Durbin. First and third, 2 outs. Cubs 4, Brewers 3 in the 8th. The pitch. Down and in, ball 1. Full house at Wrigley Field here for Game 3. The Cubs trying to win, stay alive, and force a Game 4. Keller comes set, fires. That's in the dirt. And now it's 2-0.
And Keller has a lot of pitches, four-seamer, but a lot of spin, slider, sweeper. He'll sink it. Does the changeup, throws those in pretty balanced numbers. So likes to use them, but very tough on right-handed batters.
Frelick at first, Churio at third, 2 down. The 2-0 is a little bit high, and now 3-0.
And Durbin, that pitch was up and in. Looked like it might have caught the plate, but Durbin ducked down, make it seem like it was up in his neck.
3-0 now, and that is inside ball 4, and he walked him. So now the bases are loaded. And Jake Bowers, who homered his last time up, will come to the plate, and no place to put him.
No place to put him, and also ensures Christian Yelich, provided this at bat goes through, Yelich is set up to bat again.
Yeah, so Yelich is guaranteed one more plate appearance. Keller's going to work out of the windup with the bases loaded. And the pitch. And that is ball 1. Bowers stepped out.
Thought he had a timeout, and
he did not.
Or at least didn't get the eye contact, so he stepped out. And
so it's 1-0. The wind, the 1-0 is through there for a strike. So 1-1 now. Churio's at third, Frelick at second. And Durbin, the runner, at first. The pitch is in there for a strike. And right now, Keller stepping off the rubber and working the volume on PitchCom so that he can hear it. Everybody on their feet. They wave the Blue Rally Towns at Wrigley Field. A full house. Bases loaded. 2 outs in the 8th. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And listen to this place. Keller strikes out Bowers. And the Brewers leave him loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. And the Cubs still hanging on to a 4-3 lead of the Brewers. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
October baseball is here, which means the MLB stage is bigger, the lights brighter, and your style, it's got to rise with it. From fresh jerseys and iconic caps to hoodies, jackets, and must-have accessories, every postseason fit tells a story because October baseball isn't just play. It's what you live. It's what you wear. It's showing off and showing out. So this October, go big, go bold. Rep your squad's postseason moment at MLBshop.com. MLB trademarks used with permission.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Your fantasy roster is set. The smack talk is heating up, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing the ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app and link your ESPN Bet and ESPN accounts to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
You're listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Well, we go bottom 8. And the Cubs will send up Carson Kelly, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Dansby Swanson against Chad Patrick. It's a 4-3 game. And man, the Cubs did all their scoring way back in the first.
Yeah, it's like you have this boat and there's a hole in the bottom, and you're like trying to get to shore. And they got 4-0. It's like 4-1, 4-2, 4-3. They're holding on, hoping they could just run out of innings, but they certainly could use an extra run. But Keller is looking sharp enough that maybe he's all they need.
So here's Carson Kelly now. And the pitch. Swing and a line drive caught behind second by Bryce Terang. And Kelly retired, one away.
Jumped on the first pitch, hit it a hair towards the end of the bat, so the ball kind of died in the air. Terang just cut it off and recorded the out.
So one down, and Pete Crow Armstrong up to hit. PCA with a 2-run single and a steal, a strikeout and a flyout. Cubs 4, and the Brewers 3. Bottom 8, 1 out, bases empty. The pitch. Swing and a foul ball off to the left, out of play. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Well, Patrick, who came on in relief of Koenig. He's the 6th pitcher used in this game. The 0-2. Bunted. Third base side. Patrick up with a throw to first. And out at first is Pete Crow Armstrong. Nice play by Chad Patrick, springing off the mound and grabbing it and getting one of the faster players in the majors.
He didn't have any panic. He caught this and took a step and throw, made sure he was set. Little sidearm delivery, and Pete Crow Armstrong kind of squared forward to just make sure he got it down. No one with 2 strikes. If you run a foul, you're out. So a little hesitation or giveaway where he squared allowed Patrick to be off the mound pretty quickly, but he still had to throw quick to get the speedy Pete Crow.
First one to Dansby Swanson is in for a strike. Swanson, a walk, a ground out, and a single that he takes outside. Remember when we were in school, in grade school, they used to go over sprint speed and how fast. I think the fastest a cheetah could run was like 70 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And the fastest the top-end human could run was like 20 miles an hour, right?
Oh, yeah.
The 1-1 is in the dirt. Well, they just did it in terms of miles per hour on the Jumbotron, and Pete Crow Armstrong just ran 21 miles an hour. So that's like peak human.
Yes.
I mean,
he's
obviously there are people faster than Pete in the world, but that's high-end human speed. The 2-1 is outside, but obviously he would lose to a cheetah.
Yes. Or they used to have they raced the horses,
right?
And then, in the beginning the human wins, and then the horse clearly catches it.
4-3, Cubs lead. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs, the 3-1. Swing and a bouncer towards third, but foul. Durbin picks it up. Yeah, Usain's top recorded speed was 27.8. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's a good bit faster.
That's like he'd get a ticket in the school zone. You realize that?
That's right.
Yeah, that's
a good point, Dougie. So be safe. And remember to buckle up, everybody. Dansby Swanson steps out. If they made Usain Bolt swing a bat and just go down to first, I don't think he could get to 28.
Yeah, that bat will mess you up.
3-2 down. Swanson hits it on the ground to third. Picking it up, Durbin over to first. In time, Swanson is out, and we're headed to the 9th. Last chance for the Brewers. It's a 1-run game as the Cubs lead it 4-3. You're listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't anticipate him being better than Brock Purdy. Even if he is, it doesn't matter. Brock Purdy's going to get his job back because they paid him an insane amount of money, and he's done nothing wrong. If you want to sit here and say, hey, they shouldn't have paid Brock Purdy because Kyle Shanahan could make anyone good, you can make that argument, but then I'm going to show you Trey Lance.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. The Kickoff with Taylor Tannenbaum and Trevor Scales.
My hot take regarding the Longhorns is that they got bigger problems than just Arch, baby, specifically when it comes to their offensive line and their lack of reliance on them in the run game at large. You're talking just 10th in yards per rush in the SEC. Every time it felt like Arch was making a throw down in Gainesville, he was getting his face stretched.
Check out The Kickoff on YouTube, Facebook, and on the ESPN app.
It's the SEC on ABC all day Saturday.
What a day in college football.
Don't miss an electrifying lineup featuring top 15 teams like Alabama, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Georgia. And a seismic showdown in the Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas.
This place is spectacular.
Get getting back up. That's the only backup plan you need.
SEC all day presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Saturday, beginning at noon Eastern. Also streaming on the ESPN app.
You're listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Back at Wrigley Field, and Brad Keller trying to secure the final 3 outs and keep the Cubs season alive. It'll be Collins and then Perkins, or I beg your pardon, it'll be Monasterio, Perkins, and Yelich. And it looks like Andrew Vaughn is going to hit in the Monasterio spot. So let's try that again. It'll be Vaughn, Perkins, and Yelich.
Keller had one 4-out appearance back in mid-August, but it's been a minute. August 10th.
So Vaughn will come up to hit. Andrew Vaughn, who did not start in this game. He did have the big 3-run homer in the first inning of Game 2, the pitch. And Keller delivers inside. Ball 1 to Vaughn. Vaughn, who made such an impact for this team at first base. The 1-0. Swing and a ball lifted in the air out towards right center field. Suzuki there to make the catch. And there's one out. Right here we'll pause 10 seconds. Station ID. You're listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. One down, and it's Blake Perkins to hit. Perkins, who came up as a pinch hitter and grounded to second in the 7th. The pitch. Fastball through there for a strike. And it's 0-1. And now Perkins asks for time. A switch hitter batting left. Brewers took the lead at the top of the first on a sac fly by Sal Freeland. The 0-1, check swing, and he went. Strike 2. The Cubs got 4 in their half of the first. The Brewers with single runs in the 4th and the 7th, and here we are. Cubs 4, Brewers 3, and we're in the 9th. Here comes the 0-2. That's too low. Cubs have out-hit the Brewers 8-7. We played error-free baseball. Neither team has made an error. 4-3 game, 1-2. Here's the pitch. Swinging a foul out of play off to our left. Now Brad Keller, who was signed as a non-roster invitee, basically on a minor league deal. The 1-2 outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. But the Cubs liked something with him. He's throwing harder than he ever has in his career. 2-2. Here comes. Fly ball slicing down the left side. Slicing. Foul. And Perkins stays alive. It's 2-2.
Yeah, you never know with a reliever. You get in the right role. You get on a roll. Your stuff starts playing. You change an arm angle, all of a sudden you could be a different pitcher and find the right home.
Seems like he has. Here's a 2-2. Outside. And I mean, you think for a second, he was actually released by the White Sox last year, who were the worst team of all time. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Keller gets Perkins, and there's 2 away. And isn't it fitting that it comes down to this? If you contemplate for a second how things have shifted in the Central, and you think about the Cubs and their natural rivalry with the Cardinals, the reality is, over the last 7 years, the Brewers have become the Cubs' rival, and this guy has been the face of it. The pitch. Yelich hits it hard. Flag down and a bounce by Horner. He gets up, throws to first, and that's the ball game. Yelich grounds out hard to second. Keller closes it out, and the Cubs hang on by their fingernails. 4-3 the final.
Well, you talk about Jameson Taillon setting the tone, but I'll tell you, the Brewers kept chipping away, but great job by the Cubs to bend but not break. They were able to hold it. Keller really puts the exclamation point to stop what was flowing with the Brewers to turn it into them running out of innings. But that's all it takes. After 9, Cubs are on top. Taillon was able to get that start that they were looking for. Just quick, efficient, handed it off to the bullpen. and there were some bumps in the road, they were able to hold off these Brewers.
Yeah, no question about it. So the Cubs live to fight another day, and for the Cubs tomorrow, it looks like it'll be Matthew Boyd to try to save their season, but obviously it is all hands on deck. And then for the Milwaukee Brewers, it'll be Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, no doubt. And Freddie Peralta, fly ball pitcher. A lot of wind's been blowing in a lot this season, so that could be a factor. But Michael Busch, once again, leadoff home run just sets the tone. And that slug played today of that 4-inning first, that's all they needed.
Yeah, so the Cubs got 4 in the first and make it hold up. And let's send it downstairs and Jesse Rogers.
All right, with first baseman Michael Busch, take us through those last couple innings of a one-run game in an elimination situation for you guys, and you pull it through.
Yeah, pitchers came out big, made a couple of great defensive plays, got the job done. Great offense over there. They're always a little, get a double here, steal bases here and there, but I thought we did a good job at shutting them down, and pitchers made a lot of good pitches.
Let's go all the way back to the first inning. You're the first leadoff man in postseason history to lead off 2 games in a series with a home run. How are you so ready to hit?
Just trying to do my thing, trying to keep things as simple as I can, just trying to focus on what makes me a good hitter, and locked in the box, and just kind of let it ride from there. But fun to get it going.
You got a full count, fastball, looked like you didn't miss it.
Yeah, I think he threw me a little cutter. He's good. He nibbles a little bit here and there. I think he left it a little out over the plate for me, and just tried to get on base, trying to do something good, and glad it ended up where it did.
Does it feel like you guys are right back in the series now?
I don't think we ever thought we were out of it. Coming back home with the city behind us, the fan behind us, we know what we're capable of. Happy to get this one and got another one tomorrow.
Congrats, Mike.
Thank you.
It's Michael Busch. Back to you, Boog.
Michael Busch with the home run to begin the game for the Cubs. Second time he's done that in this series, his 3rd postseason homer. And the Cubs hang on to win 4-3. They stay alive and force a game 4. It'll be tomorrow night at 8 Central here on ESPN Radio. Again, our final score, Cubs 4, Brewers 3. For Doug Glanville, producer Rob Kelly, and engineer Al Rosenberg, I'm John Shambi from Wrigley Field. Now we send it to Mark Kestisher in the studio at the postgame show.
All right, Boog, thank you very much. And this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. 2 games in the books on this 4-game division series. Wednesday, we'll get you caught up on everything else. Coming up on our Baseball Tonight postgame show next, this is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free, too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. Fresh off a bye week and their first loss, 11th-ranked LSU faces South Carolina in Death Valley at night.
And he's taking it to the house. Touchdown LSU. 58-yard pick six.
South Carolina at 11th ranked LSU. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern with kickoff at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the SEC Network.
It's the SEC on ABC all day Saturday.
What a day in college football.
Don't miss an electrifying lineup featuring top 15 teams like Alabama, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Georgia. And a seismic showdown in the Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas.
This place is spectacular.
Yeah, getting back up. That's the only backup plan you need.
SEC All Day presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. Saturday, beginning at noon Eastern. Also streaming on the ESPN app.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't anticipate him being better than Brock Purdy. Even if he is, it doesn't matter. Brock Purdy's going to get his job back because they paid him an insane amount of money and he's done nothing wrong. If you want to sit here and say, hey, they shouldn't have paid Brock Purdy because Kyle Shanahan can make anyone good, you can make that argument, but then I'm going to show you Trey Lance.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. Previously on Clinton and Friends.
What's going on with the old Arch? I don't know that this guy would be starting at this position if his first name and last name were not what they are. I say all that to say I kind of feel bad for the kid. There's clearly some development that needs to happen. I don't think the game is too big for him in any context of that. I just feel like he looks green.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The Rich Eisen Show.
They took care of business against the Eagles in Philadelphia in total Sean Payton fashion, which is hit you in the mouth, come up with some gritty offensive plays, and then just do bat guano crazy stuff like going for two and roll the dice so you can get a 1-point lead rather than give the Eagles an option.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Mark Kestisher, baseball tonight, post-game show after Game 3 between the Brewers and the Cubs. Some of you will be heading to Blue Jays Yankees when we're done. Others may be going to the start of the Phillies and Dodgers at the top of the hour. Our game flow brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance offers 24/7 protection when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle. Learn more at Progressive.com. Feels like every run in this series is scored in the first inning. Brewers going for the 3-game sweep. Got a run in the first. Cubs answered with 4 in the bottom of the first. Cubs chipped away. And then in the 8th inning, the Brewers, I should say, chipped away. And in the 8th inning, they had the bases loaded. Brad Keller coming out of the Cubs bullpen. This was our getting it done play of the game.
Bases loaded. 2 outs in the 8th. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And listen to this place. Keller strikes out Bowers, and the Brewers leave him loaded.
Our Getting It Done play of the game brought to you by Grainger. With supplies and solutions for every industry, Grainger has the right product for you. Call, click, Grainger.com, or just stop by. And Brad Keller got him 1-2-3 in the top of the 9th. Cubs on the board. They beat the Brewers 4-3. Milwaukee still leads the series 2-1. Game 4 tomorrow night here on ESPN Radio. Coming up next on our Baseball Tonight postgame show, how many Game 5s we going to get on Friday? An update next. You're listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All my life, I had to fight Mets fans that said, all you guys do is buy championships. George Steinbrenner just spends more money than everybody else. How hard is it to win when you do that? All you guys do is buy championships. And now that you're in a position to buy championships, how's that going for you?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Saturday, tune into SEC Network for a full day of SEC football coverage, starting at 9 a.m. with Marty and McGee and SEC Nation. Then, it's an SEC afternoon doubleheader, followed by SEC Saturday night under the lights. Later, break down the day's action with SEC football final postgame. All-day SEC football coverage begins Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on SEC Network and stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Hey, it's Greg McElroy from the Always College Football Podcast. Check out our current episode where we give you our updated top 25 and visit with Josh Pate. You can download it anywhere you get your podcast.
Monday Night Football with twice the thrills. Josh Allen's feeling like a highlight reel as the Bills take the ATL to face Bijan Robinson and the Falcons. And feeling Heisman heat in this QB duel, Caleb Williams and the Bears are seeking redemption in the spotlight, while Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are feeling built for primetime. Feeling all the feels for Bills Falcons Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and Bears Commanders at 8 on ABC. Also streaming on the all-new ESPN app.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Thursday, we'll react to a 4-pack of MLB games and get you set for an NFC East clash. That's Thursday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hockey is here. The breakaways, here. The beards, here. The deets, the backhands, the Ovi goals, all here. Comebacks are here. Blue Cheap is here. Barn burners, thousands of them. Trade alerting, here. The fans, here. The Stanley Cup, yeah, you guessed it. It's here on ESPN.
Watch all season long on ESPN and the ESPN app.
College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio. Fresh off a bye week and their first loss, 11th-ranked LSU faces South Carolina in Death Valley at night.
And he's taking it to the house. Touchdown LSU. 58-yard pick six.
South Carolina at 11th-ranked LSU. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern with kickoff at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the SEC Network. The Rich Eisen Show.
Bijan Robinson from the Falcons. When we first met, you're like, call me Bijan. And then during the spring, I'm hearing through the grapevine, he wants to be called Bijan. And then Tarico says, you then green-lighted Bijan again. Can you help me with this?
I always just say, it's however you want to say it. So I know it's became a thing, but however it sounds good to you, I'm all for it.
Well, again, I just want to make you happy.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
It's the WNBA Finals, and we on go.
Open it up, we about to rage.
The Aces, led by their MVP, ready to bring home another trophy to Vegas.
Asia Wilson can do it all.
The Mercury, ready to shine when the lights are the brightest.
Phoenix headed back to the finals.
The WNBA Finals. Continue through October 17th on ESPN and ABC and streaming on the all-new ESPN app. Presented by YouTube TV.
This is the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
I'm Mark Kestisher. Baseball tonight post-game show. Cubs keep their series alive, a 4-3 win over the Brewers. Milwaukee still up 2-1. 2 American League Division series can close today. Well, one already is going to a decisive 5th game. Tigers rallied to beat Seattle 9-3. Blue Jays trying to get to the LCS first time since 2016. They've taken a 2-1 lead over the Yankees in the Bronx, top of the 5th inning. George Springer with the tie-breaking sacrifice fly. Phillies and Dodgers from Los Angeles in about a half hour. L.A. took the first 2 in Philadelphia. Have a chance to close out a sweep coming up a little bit later on tonight. Game 4 from Wrigley Field. Coverage can be heard on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app tomorrow, thanks to the Cubs' 4-3 win over the Brewers. Many of our ESPN Radio affiliates up next. Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Phillies and Dodgers, or Game 4 in progress of the ALDS between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. That'll do it for us. Final score, Cubs 4 and the Brewers 3. For producer Ryan Matlack, our technical director Nick Carty, and our associate producer Steve Risser, I'm Mark Kestisher. We thank you for listening to the National League Division Series on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Freddie and Harry.
What was that time in your life when you said to yourself, it was at this moment I realized I messed up Doug in North Carolina?
My wife comes outside. I'm still sitting in the truck, and she said, what are you doing? You've been home for 30 minutes. Well, I cracked the window, and I said, baby, I'm on a work call. And I hear, caw-caw! She snatched me out of that truck by my ear, and I said, come on, baby, it's Freddie and Harry. Just give me 5 more minutes.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Adam Schefter, and on this week's episode, year of the resurgent quarterbacks, a record pace for Puka Nacua, and the inexplicable trend that won't end in the NFL. The Adam Schefter Podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Thursday, Saquon Barkley and the Eagles head to MetLife for a divisional matchup. Are the Giants the perfect remedy for all that ails them? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
We welcome you to college football in the ACC.
Oh, my brother, you don't have to follow in your bloodline.
Every big play.
Down the sideline, touchdown!
Every milestone moment.
That's what you dream of playing, is playing games like this.
An insight you can't get anywhere else.
This guy is elite in every sense of the word.
All the pride, passion, and pageantry right here. ACC Network, your home for ACC football all season long.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Thursday, we'll react to a 4-pack of MLB games and get you set for an NFC East clash. That's Thursday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
The Fantasy Focus Football Podcast.
Yeah, I have a lot here, so I'm going to just whirl through these. You guys stop me at any time. We'll start with Michael Pittman in the club.
I'm good right now if you want to stop.
Okay. Go ahead. What's your thoughts?
I was playing.
Come on, give us
I can't not, Michael.
No, you stop me, so you guys have to do the analysis.
Okay. Michael Pittman's got a good matchup this week.
I'm going to sit back and enjoy this.
Check it out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast.
It's the WNBA Finals, and we on go.
Open it up, we about to rage.
The Aces, led by their MVP, ready to bring home another trophy to Vegas.
Asia Wilson can do it all.
The Mercury, ready to shine when the lights are the brightest.
Phoenix headed back to the finals.
The WNBA Finals. Continue through October 17th on ESPN and ABC, and streaming on the all-new ESPN app, presented by YouTube TV.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio.
Fires a pass complete. Nacua at the 20. Beats the defender at the 10. Into the end zone. Touchdown.
Matthew Stafford leads the Los Angeles Rams into Baltimore to face a Ravens team desperate for a win.
They're the 31st ranked defense. People don't want to believe that, but when you watch them play, you go, wow, what happened?
Complete disappointment, and we're going to have to find a way to turn it around, figure out who we are this next week.
Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern, with kickoff at 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio. College Football Saturday on ESPN Radio.
Touchdown, Michigan!
2-0 in the Big Ten and ranked 15th in the country. The Michigan Wolverines head to the Coliseum to face USC.
Touchdown, Makai Lemon! A 40-yard touchdown toss, USC.
Number 15, Michigan at USC. Coverage begins Saturday at 7 Eastern, with kickoff at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Introducing the new ESPN Fox One bundle. Unlock all of ESPN and all of Fox One with one unbeatable price. Catch the biggest games, college football, NBA, NHL, and more on ESPN. Stream your faves, Big Noon Saturday, the World Series, and NASCAR on Fox One. All for just $39.99 a month. That's 20% off. The ESPN Fox One bundle. Offer valid for eligible subscribers only. Access content from each service separately. Savings compared to purchasing both plans separately. See stream.espn.com for complete terms and conditions.
Today, get out of here. Yeah, no, for sure. If you want to drive it first, we'll go for the drive around the... What time? 1 o'clock. Okay, great. Yeah, no, I'm there. And 12:30, I'm in my trailer. Open up the door, there's Tom. Is car here yet? It's another half hour, Tom. Okay,
Relax,
let me know.
It's coming from Mr. Tustin Lexus at some point. It's coming by here.
Yeah.
Right.
It's driving all the way out from Tustin to Culver City.
That's right.
It's a good hour.
Yeah, it's for sure.
So, Tom's very excited. I think he's established that. One of the jobs our first AD on every movie has to figure out how to get all the actors to the set at the same time. And in that courtroom scene, there's a lot of us.
Oh, sure.
Demi's going to take 7 minutes when you knock on her door. Jack's going to take 11 to find his shoes. Kevin's always wants to go to the restroom again before he leaves. But Tom, can I stand up for a second for a little demo?
Yeah,
this is Tom. When you knock on his trailer door, it's as if he's doing this on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Because he would burst through the door and run to set.
Yes.
So much so that one day I'm running to set, or he's running past me to set, and I go, Tom, where's the fire? Just busting chops. And he says, come on, Kevin. Sure enough, I'm running with him, leading by example.
Yes.
So 12:45, open the door. Is the car here yet? It's not here yet. 1 o'clock, Tom. Okay, let me know. No, I'll definitely let you know. 1:05. I walk out of my trailer. Tom's pacing. He's pacing at his trailer. I'm not going to assume it's because of the car. And I look towards the drive, and sure enough, the guy's pulling in about 1:09. And I'm walking towards the GM in my new car. I can't believe this car is being delivered to me.
Yes.
And Tom runs past me towards the guy driving the car. And I'm thinking, oh, don't blow the deal, Tom. Don't blow the deal. Yeah. Well, Tom's angry. So the guy stops the car, about to meet Tom Cruise. Tom opens the door. What are you doing, man? It's 10 after 1. Supposed to be here at 1 o'clock. Tom, don't yell at the GM of Tustin Lexus. I made this deal. Yeah, I got it. The 90 days waiting list gone. List price, over list price. Nope, I got it for list.
Oh, my God.
Hey, buddy. And the driver, the GM is like, oh, geez, sorry, there was traffic. You got to allow for traffic. You got to allow for traffic. I can't believe he's scolding the GM from Tustin Lexus. But sure enough, the GM tosses me the keys. I say, no, Tom, you drive first. The GM gets in the back seat, and I got to see Tom stunt drive my brand new car.
Oh, my God.
90 miles an hour residential, the guy in the back seat. For sure, A, having the time of his life, and B, wetting himself. Without question. I mean, this guy looked terrified. Yeah, it was incredible.
But you did get the car.
And I got,
Okay. And I got the picture.
The guy got the photo.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, sheet white, the guy.
How would it have gone if you had offered Nicholson instead?
Look the hell out.
Okay, look the hell out. Also for Tulsa King on Sundays on Paramount Plus, along with Sylvester Stallone, this man, Kevin Pollak, right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
This is the best of The Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio. Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
NASCAR George, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Yates. First 2 times I called you was the 10 o'clock hour. And then I tried to get in about 4 weeks ago. I couldn't get in, but I don't remember it was the first hour or the second hour. I'm 62 years old, and I started to forget. Hey, so I said I'll try to get in here at the end. It's hard to get in your show now. I saw you on the TV.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. The Rich Eisen Show.
Bijan Robinson from the Falcons. When we first met, you're like, call me Bijan. And then during the spring, I'm hearing through the grapevine, he wants to be called Bijan. And then Tarico says, you then green-lighted Bijan again. Can you help me with this?
I always just say, it's however you want to say it. So I know it became a thing, but however it sounds good to you, I'm all for it.
Well, again, I just want to make you happy.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
If you're a first-round pick, teams are going to give you years. When you're a mid-round pick, you got games. And that's what puts a lot of pressure on Dillon Gabriel. It's a very different thing when you have Joe Flacco knowing that he has no chance to be a part of the organization's long-term future versus having Shedeur Sanders as the number 2 quarterback.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is Freddie and Harry.
Freddie, I'm going to start with Stephon Diggs. You're talking about a guy who joined the Buffalo Bills in Josh Allen's second year and made a massive difference, allowed Josh Allen to be able to take that next step. Now he's with the New England Patriots with Drake May in his second year as a quarterback, and it's making a massive difference. And just being that security blanket and that one player that can just be available, make tough catches, make plays.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You have cancer. There's nothing you can do to prepare yourself.
Round 1 of chemotherapy. I'm going to fight it. I'm going to survive. There's no way I'm going to let this take over me.
Cancer doesn't care what you look like, who you are.
It may not.
It's one of the lives that's been saved.
1, 2, 3. Never give up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Visit v.org/donate.
This is the best of the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio.
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Zach Brown is here. He just gave me a bunch of gifts, which I've got a mug for you. Perfect. There you go. That's a fair trade. Cheers. Cheers to you. Again, the highly anticipated new album from Zach Brown Band, Love and Fear, on December 5th, and that's also when you're going to go to the Sphere in Las Vegas to kick off a residency there. The first weekend is already sold out. We had Kenny Chesney on the show before he went into the Sphere.
Yes, sir.
And he was talking about how, you spend a lot of time syncing up your music to whatever's going on. I guess you can't call the walls of the Sphere, but whatever's going on to sync it up. And that's a significant endeavor. Are you in the midst of doing that right now?
We are. We've been working on it 18 months, so we've had a lot longer runway than anyone else that's been able to go in there. So, and we're also telling a story. So that's the first one that I've seen. It'll be the first of its kind in that scenario. And the title, Love and Fear, you could boil most of your decisions in your life based out of one of those two things.
Yes.
And I try not to base my decisions on fear, but on the love of doing something and believing that it's a worthy cause. But the juxtaposition that we get to create in the content of being able to be there. So every one of the human emotions, we're going to try to pull on that string. There's like horror, jump scare moments, and then going on into soaring, beautiful things. So a rise and fall of all these things of tension and release and things, kind of like the storms we all go through in life where we'll have really difficult times. It seems like things happen in 3s or 6s or 9s, like however many times. And then we get through those things, and all the hard things that ever happened to us, we look back on, and it's like I was learning something through that. I couldn't see it at the time, but it's just been life's been a series of those things for me, and getting to tell that story and about my childhood, about a lot of things that only people that were really close to me would know. Getting to do that and then create all the content behind everything. I got to work with a 40-piece orchestra for this. We recorded it for the album and filmed it for Sphere. We got a 20-piece choir
that you're bringing into the Sphere with you?
Or no, we film them.
And so you'll be putting them...
We film them, yeah. Their content, we'll have them as part of it. But being able to...
That's going to be amazing.
Even the new album, we got a new song that just came out with Dolly, and it's called Butterfly. 40-piece orchestra on that. Getting to work with her, getting to have the orchestra on it, all things. Getting to produce an album that's on the level where there's really not... I'm just going big on everything. And the convergence of all the promotion, and we're all independent. So, we're not with a record label, and we just put our own marketing dollars and our own efforts behind this to expose it, get it out, release some of the songs along the way. So some of the people that hear them in the Sphere, if they're fans, they've had a chance to kind of get to know some of the songs that we're doing, and then playing a lot of the songs that people would expect, playing some of the curveballs that we love to do cover-wise.
Sure.
But it's this is a love letter to our fans, and the amount of work that's gone into it and pulling something off on this level is just a reminder that we're not slowing down. You know, we're in this, and we'll always be performing, and we owe a lot to our fans. They're the ones that have carried us through, decades and staying relevant. So this is a big statement for us, and getting to do it in that building is an honor, and getting to do it with the team of people we've got together to make it magic.
Yeah, I saw with my wife U2, which was the first act to be in the Sphere in Las Vegas. And I just, when you say about a jump scare, I'm like wondering what that would look like, because you could feel like the walls are literally closing in that place. Like, you better be careful. Like, people better take their nitroglycerin before they come in to see you.
That's true.
If you're jump scaring them in the Sphere, because it is a sensor. I've never seen anything like. I felt kind of stupid too, because we showed up before everything was going on. And I saw the walls in there, and they were made of like these big cinder blocks, and I'm like, oh, there must be some sort of special type of material that you could beam this stuff on. And then when U2 started, the cinder blocks broke, and I'm like, oh, that was a projection the entire time. And I felt dumb. I felt stupid. Like, I went in there, I'm like, oh, there's cinder blocks, and they're like, no. You could put whatever the hell you want on this thing.
That's right.
Which must give you such incredible creative freedoms when you got 18 months to figure this out with your music, too, right?
Yeah, you're limited by your imagination and your budget of what you can do in there. And the people that we've got helping create that content are really, really incredible.
Right.
And a lot of the tricks, optical illusions, things you can create in there. It's the only place that I've seen where you're in a building and you feel like you're outside. You feel the wind on your face watching the sunrise, and you can't discern that
you're not making it up.
A video.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And the fact that you're having your new album on the same day, that's how you do it, man. That's how you promote it. That's how you push it. That's how you distribute it. And that's how you're there for your fans. Again, Zach Brown of Zach Brown Band here on the Rich Eisen Show. We've never met, so apologies if this comes across in a different way. But I thought Love and Fear was about being a Falcon fan. No. Wow. I mean, kind of is a little bit of both.
Yeah, you can apply that to a lot of things.
Am I wrong?
A lot of things in life.
My bad if I come across, but and that's your team, the Atlanta Falcons?
I'm from Atlanta, and home team, Falcons, Braves, Bulldogs.
Okay.
But I've got a lot of friends that play as well, and that have had played and retired, and so I've got different people I'll pull for depending on what's happening. But I played football 11 years.
You did?
I did. And when I was 5 until I was 16, I played guard and tackle and then linebacker.
So you're in the trenches.
Yeah.
You're in the trenches.
Yeah, and I love the sport. And then I did judo in college, and that kind of opened my eyes to MMA, and that's really my favorite sport.
That is.
I mean, UFC is my.
So who's your fighter? Who are you particularly?
Man, probably Justin Gaethje's probably my favorite fighter. But lots of them over time. But I absolutely love that sport. I watch as much as I possibly can. I stream them all.
Would you have done it if you could?
No, and I don't roll anymore because of my fingers. There's a lot of grip strength, a lot of things, grabbing gis and things, and I've got to protect my hands. So I don't roll anymore, but I love to watch people compete, and I love to watch the evolution of the sport, how much it's changed. And the worst fighter in the UFC now would have smashed anybody early on because everybody trains different disciplines.
Sure.
But that's definitely my favorite sport, and I study it.
That is?
Yep.
Okay. And then, and so Georgia Bulldogs must have given you some immense satisfaction in the last few years.
Absolutely, man. We waited 40 years to get another championship. But as a kid, most of my family went to UGA.
Okay.
And as a kid, riding back in the car with my dad from like deer camp when I was a kid, listening to Larry Munson on AM radio, broadcasting the dogs, and it's been a part of my life. And now my fiance, she's University of Texas.
Oh boy.
So she's a Longhorn. And I've got a daughter going to school there.
Where, in Austin?
Next year in Austin.
Okay.
So it's a house divided when they play each other, but otherwise I got to pull for them. I got another daughter at Georgia Tech, which is a big rival right there in Georgia, but now I got to be a Tech fan too. So
Georgia Tech just came in with a big win.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. And the Tech Georgia game last year, that quarterback, the amount of heart that kid has, man, it's pretty special. So got lots of teams now.
You sure do.
Yeah.
I mean, Texas is as big a rival as you might have for the whole shooting match this year.
Yep.
Okay, so when that happens, what does things look like in the Zach Brown household?
But if I'm watching Texas and going to the games with my lady, I got to be a UT fan, and my daughter's going there. So I inherited these other teams, but lifelong Bulldog fan.
But I do believe November 15th, is that the day? Okay, so it'll be 20 days before your Sphere. I don't know. Will you be in Vegas at that point in time, or
we'll be
getting ready?
Rehearsals. We'll be getting ready.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to see it. I'm a couple weeks away from seeing all the content in the Sphere. We've been using,
VR
headsets now to see everything.
Isn't this amazing?
Resolution's not quite the same,
cool.
but
that is so cool.
But yeah,
I'm just trying to point out that you might not be in the same room as your fiance for this game.
I think we'll be together for that game. Even if I got stuff going on, we'll be watching it. We can be friends after.
You have what a pleasure to have you here anytime you want.
Thanks, Rich. Appreciate you, man.
Zach Brown, everybody, at Zach Brown and at Zach Brown Band on Instagram.
This is the best of the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
This is Freddie and Harry.
What was that time in your life when you said to yourself, it was at this moment I realized I messed up Doug in North Carolina?
My wife comes outside. I'm still sitting in the truck, and she said, "What are you doing? You've been home for 30 minutes. Well, I cracked the window, and I said, "Baby, I'm on a work call." And I hear, "Caw-caw!" She snatched me out of that truck by my ear, and I said, "Come on, baby, it's Freddie and Harry. Just give me 5 more minutes."
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's not okay for a coach to put hands on him. Not even at this level. The only way it's appropriate for a coach to put hands on a player is if you're giving him a pat on the back, if you're encouraging him. This was not that. And there is no question in my mind that Jonathan Gannon was out of pocket. And you wonder whether or not the players in that locker room lose the respect that they have for him.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
You have cancer. There's nothing you can do to prepare yourself.
Round 1 of chemotherapy. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna survive. There's no way I'm gonna let this take over me.
Cancer doesn't care what you look like, who you are.
It may not.
Live. Fight like hell. And when you get too tired to fight, let somebody else fight for you.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Visit v.org/donate.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bankin. The baseball playoffs continue on today with 4 games on the schedule. 2 are complete. 1 has yet to start, and another is in the 6th inning. That is between the Blue Jays and Yankees. Toronto leads 2-1. Yankees with 1 on and 2 out of the 6 as Toronto is making a pitching change. Earlier, the Tigers fell behind the Mariners 3-0, then scored 9 unanswered runs for a 9-3 Game 4 victory. Riley Green hit the home run to put the Tigers ahead to stay.
It felt good.
was really just trying to get on base, as a leadoff hitter, and just trying to get on base and, get the torque behind me, and, I got to pitch I could handle.
Game 5 will be in Seattle on Friday. In the National League, just like the Tigers, the Cubs stay alive. Down 2-0. They score 4 runs in the first and hold on to beat Milwaukee 4-3. Cubs and Brewers play Game 4 tomorrow in Wrigley Field. And coming up in a few moments, the last game on the schedule on this Wednesday, the Phillies and Dodgers, LA going for a sweep up 2-0. Football news, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson remains sidelined. He did not practice again today as he continues to deal with a hamstring injury. Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray also did not practice. He is dealing with a foot injury. And the Bengals have announced that Joe Flacco will start on Sunday against the Packers. Game 3 of the WNBA Finals on ESPN has reached the half. It is Vegas up 55-43 over Phoenix. The Aces are trying to take a commanding 3-0 lead. Hockey news, Jack Eichel and the Vegas Golden Knights have agreed to an extension. It is an 8-year extension worth $180 million. Also, the Jets have given forward Kyle Connor an 8-year, $96 million extension.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up Thursday, guest host Susie Schuster is joined by Hall of Famer Charles Barkley and Tom Pelissero with the latest from around the league. That's Thursday on The Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
Welcome to the Hoop Collective podcast. We talk about the NBA, which we're doing. I've just come in from Europe. Bontemps has just come in from the West Coast. And McMahon was at a game tonight. All right, Tim Bontemps just in from the West Coast, joining us from New York City. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Walked in the house at about 1 a.m. There was a cockroach on the floor. K-Bon was not happy.
Welcome home.
That's the way my day has gone. Yes.
Welcome home. Joining us from Dallas, but not there all night. He was over in Fort Worth to watch the Mavericks play their first preseason game against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder. And Van McMahon, it seems like the Thunder brought their A game, their A team for this one.
That's good. Didn't bring their A game or their A team. Went top 6 or so guys, 6, 7, stayed home in Oklahoma City for the probably, I'm going to say, the first Charleston, Fort Worth back-to-back in NBA history. I would feel pretty confident in saying that. Maybe not in old D-League history, but yeah. Hey, do want to give a quick shout-out. 5-0 Mean Green, baby. Got South
People
Florida.
People are watching on the YouTube. North Texas is McMahon's alma mater, and he's wearing a North Texas sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm. Hey, 5-0 for the first time since '59. Have the ranked South Florida Bulls coming in Friday night. It'll be on the deuce, baby.
My school's undefeated since 1954, so it is yeah. it is ahead. It is ahead on the rankings.
Congrats. All right,
Kent State doing?
How's what? Ohio State?
Kent State.
Oh, Kent State. Well, they lost 44-0 to Oklahoma over the weekend. Ohio State, I don't know if you heard, is doing pretty well.
Kent State still might have had a better weekend than Penn State, so we got that going for them.
That's true. All right, so Cooper Flagg played mostly in the first 3 quarters of this one.
No, only the first half.
Only the first half. He had like a flurry there where he scored like 10 points in one setting. He hit a couple of threes, was handling the ball a little bit. Did not start at point guard, though. No. D'Angelo Russell started at point guard.
I was thoroughly amused when before the game, our friend Mark Dagnall, coach of the Thunder, got asked about his thoughts on Cooper Flagg, and in very classic Thunder fashion, basically said he had no idea who Cooper Flagg was, and it was going to be his first time watching him play, and he'd tell you later what he thought of him, which I thought was very classic Thunder language on one of the biggest prospects coming to the NBA in the last 20 years. We have no thoughts on what he could possibly be as a player at all. It was great.
Good job, Mark. McMahon, there was a possibility, I think, that Cooper Flagg might have started at point guard, but at the end of the day, D'Angelo Russell started. And what did you learn from Cooper Flagg's first NBA game tonight?
I don't necessarily know that we learned a lot, but we saw, the player that he's supposed to be, and that's somebody who impacts the game in a lot of different ways. We've talked about how he might make a bigger impact defensively than offensively as a rookie. And I think his most spectacular play of the game is he's low man. He comes swooping in when Isaiah Joe gets to the basket and just swats the thing off the glass, starts a fast break that ends with a...
That's a lot. Isaiah Joe didn't know who he was either. None of the Thunder
he does now.
were aware
Not
that this guy is
Cooper
this
Flag.
elite shot blocking, what is he, 6'10", 6'8"?
Yeah, they list him at 6'9".
Okay.
But I mean, the kid, this morning he said he just wants to focus on competing hard. He said playing hard, playing physically, playing at a good pace, and making the right reads. He certainly accomplished all of those things. And honestly, so I knew he was only going to play the first half. And, midway through the second quarter, he hadn't scored. And I'm just thinking, I hope he at least gets a bucket because, and frankly, selfishly, because I'm like, I don't want.
Yeah, you don't need a story.
Yeah, because it would
have to do a story on that.
Yeah, I didn't want. Oh my gosh, Cooper Flag scoreless in his preseason debut. Just like the silly.
Sure.
Is he a bust? Blah blah blah, all that crap. Because he played well. He was defending well. He was rebounding. He was passing the ball well. He just, I think at that point he only had a couple of shots. One was a grenade three at the end of the shot clock. And I'm just thinking, if this guy goes scoreless, it's going to be a thing. It's going to be silly. And then comes off the pick and roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Grabbed a rebound, went coast to coast, finished in traffic. I'm like, all right, he got a bucket. Next possession off the pick and roll. Boom. Hits a three. A couple minutes later, a minute and a half later or so. Drives, makes a nice spin move, gets fouled, hits free throws. Another three off the pick and roll. And the threes off the pick and roll to me was pretty intriguing because that's something that he hadn't done a lot in his very young basketball life. It is something that he said he really spent a lot of time working on this summer. And, I don't know if Cooper Flag is ever going to be an offensive superstar. I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying I think he can be a superstar without being like a, 25, 30 point per game scorer. But if he's going to become a 25, 30 point per game scorer, knocking down the three and operating off the pick and roll is going to be a huge part of that.
Well, it's funny that's how his first game went because I think if you talk to people who, talk to with the Mavs, you talk to people who have followed Cooper's career, I think it might be a lot of how his rookie year goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that he's going to be scoreless for 18 minutes in a lot of games, but he's a guy that is going to play super hard. He's going to rebound. He's going to play defense. He's a terrific passer. He might be the best passer on the team. So, he's going to impact the game in a lot of ways, and that might take some pressure off the fact that he might not be a guy that's going to walk in and immediately score 16, 18, 20 points a game, particularly on a team, on this Dallas team where, especially if D'Angelo Russell is starting, you've got Klay Thompson, D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Davis. There's a lot of mouths to feed on offense and a lot of guys who are going to shoot the ball. So he may have a lot of games where he has 8 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, couple steals and a block or something like that.
Right.
And he does a lot of different stuff and helps the team out. And I mean, look, we've talked a lot about the starting lineup. The question of, is Cooper going to be the starting point guard? Are they going to start D'Angelo Russell? Are they going to start Klay Thompson? Are they going to start PJ Washington? Especially till Kyrie Irving gets back, if he does, who doesn't start of that group? I thought it was at least an interesting way to start that PJ Washington, who I think is pretty clear one of the Mavericks' 5 best players, did not start this opening game of the preseason.
Yeah, and obviously they went D'Angelo Russell at the guard, and it is if they go with that supersized starting lineup, then there's not a lot of shooting and there's less playmaking. So I understand going with Russell. But I 100% agree with you on the Flag impact. I don't think he's going to average a ton of points this year. I mean, I think he'll average 14 or 16. But, he's not a guy who's going to force shots that aren't good shots. And, I think that is a good thing. But his aggression as a scorer, especially this season, will be interesting to monitor. And
we will monitor it. I also want to point out that on Monday night, Victor Wembanyama played his first game in many months as he comes back from the blood clot for the Spurs. He had an incredibly productive 16 minutes the first half of that game. He had 9 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks in just 16 minutes.
And 6 turnovers. So just looking at the box
and
score.
6 turnovers. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I'd like to examine how that went.
By the way, Cooper Flagg, no turnovers.
Okay.
Like for a guy who had the ball in his hands a lot as an 18-year-old.
Absolutely.
And again, by the way, though, probably the best player that Oklahoma City had in Fort Worth tonight in uniform was Cason Wallace. And there were multiple times that Cooper Flagg brought the ball up the court while being hounded by Cason Wallace and did not commit any turnovers.
Well, that's terrific. That's actually probably one of the most interesting things I've heard about him early on here.
By the way, the Thunder, did you guys see this Nikola Topic injury?
This is a very upsetting injury. So Nikola Topic is the Serbian guard who they drafted in the lottery in 2024. He had torn his ACL. He was at one time regarded as a potential top 5 pick. Slipped. Was he in the lottery, Bontemps, or was
12.
Yeah,
12. 12.
Okay, 12. He set out all last year. Came out in their first preseason game over the weekend on Sunday and had a good game, didn't he, Bontemps? He put up
had
good
10 points and 7 assists, 31 minutes, and then had a testicular procedure on Monday. And is out for 40.
He got hit and suffered a pretty bad injury.
Clearly.
To the point where he had to have quasi-emergency surgery.
Yeah.
And
I should say he's going to be reevaluated in approximately 4 to 6 weeks, not out for 4 to 6 weeks.
I remember when this happened to Manu Ginobili about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Ginobili got hit. I remember this, unfortunately, because Ginobili got hit, obviously in the groin, and then had to leave. It was an incredible pain and had to leave the game. Go to the locker room and didn't come back. And the media came into the locker room afterwards, and what happens when that happens, it's obviously painful, and, everybody else, cringes, and then they laugh about it. And I remember in that situation that, I remember Tony Parker, the media wanted to, laugh about it. Oh, poor Ginobili, that really stinks. And Parker's like, I don't think it's a laughing matter. And that's because they knew that, Manu was seriously injured. In this case, the set of circumstances, that's crazy. I haven't seen the play, how it happened. And I don't want to see it, quite frankly. He had to have, pretty quick surgery. So I hope he's okay. So that's,
Manu missed a month back then. And, it doesn't sound like it's going to be a super long absence probably, but still, for a guy who missed all last year and had a chance to be a rotation player for them, it's a bummer on a variety of levels for him going into what's his rookie season when he had a chance to get some playing time right away.
Right. So yes, that was a.
More Hoop Collective podcast after this.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Earlier on Clinton and Friends.
Do we think Trevor Lawrence is going to be better than, I don't know, Mark Brunell in the history of his career? I don't necessarily know. Mark Brunell's also a guy that got them to a championship game a couple times and was a pretty good quarterback for a long time. It's tough to look at Lawrence and think that it's going to be somewhere in between failure and superstar, but I kind of think that's where we are. He won a game, but that was sloppy.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All my life, I had to fight Mets fans that said, all you guys do is buy championships. George Steinbrenner just spends more money than everybody else. How hard is it to win when you do that? All you guys do is buy championships. And now that you're in a position to buy championships, how's that going for you?
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
You have cancer. There's nothing you can do to prepare yourself.
Round 1 of chemotherapy. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna survive. There's no way I'm gonna let this take over me.
Cancer doesn't care what you look like, who you are.
It may not.
Live. Fight like hell. And when you get too tired to fight, let somebody else fight for you.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Visit v.org/donate.
By the way, Memphis Grizzlies medical update. I mean, first freaking week.
Couldn't make the preseason opener. They're down 3 starters now. Potentially for the season opener. Zach Edey,
so
100%.
Yeah, all right. So Zach Edey had surgery. Jaren Jackson Jr. had surgery. They're both out. And Ja Morant with a significant ankle to one of these, they I don't think they announced the grade, but they said it's week to week. So that sounds like, I don't know for sure, that sounds like a grade 2.
And it sounds like his status for the season opener is in jeopardy. Jaren Jackson Jr., they announced before training camp, would return to play in 4 to 6 weeks coming off turf toe surgery that he had in July. That puts his status for the opener in the first couple weeks of the season very much in jeopardy. And then at the same time,
Edey had ankle.
Yeah, they announced
Edey had ankle surgery, right
in June, and they announced again going into training camp that he would return to play in 6 to 9 weeks, which means he's going to miss at least the first couple weeks, if not the first month or so.
Yeah, God, if I was a Grizzlies fan, I don't even know what I would say. All right, so Wembanyama, however, did have a very productive and turnover